You are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, wherever you're watching this, welcome back to another video. This is my NFL Week 3 results from FanDuel. And, talking about what happened this past NFL weekend. And y'all, before we even get into this video, y'all know I have to say this. When I show y'all my FanDuel results, it's not financial advice. I'm only showing you because of this is what I did. And I just want to be transparent of how I did. So how well I'm doing in FanDuel and understanding football. And the only reason I say that is because y'all know I had to protect myself and I don't want to get sued. So let's go through the games. Now, of course, that Thursday, the Bills beat the Dolphins. I knew that was going to happen. Now, the Browns beating the Packers, I was surprised by that, but you have to give credit to the Browns. They have a tough defense. Even when they played the Baltimore Ravens last week, even though the game got away because their offense couldn't produce points, their defense was holding Lamar. Their defense was stopping Derrick Henry and Lamar in the beginning of the game. So shout outs to the Brown defense, only if they could get some offense because they still have one of the top defenses in the league. And surprisingly, the Colts are 3-0, but the Colts beat the Titans. I don't think you could think surprise now. If you look at that stat line, Daniel Jones, 18 out of 25, 228 yards, 1 TD. Daniel Jones is balling. Maybe all it took was him to get out of New York. And in interviews, even Malik's neighbors said it wasn't DJ. In other words, Daniel Jones. Like he was saying Daniel Jones wasn't the problem. So it's good to see Daniel Jones balling like that. And a lot of times it just takes a new change of scenery or new situation. That could go in football and in life. Now, the Bengals get killed by the Vikings. Mason went off. But like I said, without Joe Burrow, I don't see the Bengals even being able to compete for a playoff spot. That's why I was like, you might as well just shut this your whole year down. Even if Joe Burrow is ready to come back, just shut him down because it's not even going to be worth it unless he's 100% healthy and you got a shot for the playoffs. But from the looks of it, it's going to be hard for them to make the playoffs with this offense without Joe Burrow. I can't get my Patriots right. When I pick them, they lose. When I don't pick them, they win. Now, a big part of that was, of course, they did lose to the Steelers, but Ramondre Stevenson had those big fumbles. And it's sad to see Ramondre fumble because he is a good player, but that's been his plague. That's been his bugaboo this whole time is he continues to fumble the football, so it becomes harder for coaches to trust him. And in a close game, because I know the score says different because they blocked the field goal and scored at the other end. But the Rams had the Eagles number for 3.5 quarters. 3.5 quarters. That's about right because at the end, the Eagles was able to score and then was able to block a field goal to return it. So the Rams have something for the Eagles. They haven't got over that hump. But if you notice, whenever the Rams play the Eagles, they're always close. So I hope I see that matchup in the playoffs this year. And the Buccaneers beat the Jets. The Commanders beat the Raiders. Of course, Jaden Daniels didn't play, so Marcus Mariota played, and he's still serviceable. He's a still serviceable pro. But the Raiders, they just look bad. Their defense, their offensive line, because Genty is not able to really get a lot of production on the ground. They're rebuilding as well, so I'm curious to see what the Raiders are going to do. Now, in surprising fashion, the Falcons lost to the Panthers, and they were shut out. I was surprised by that. Thank God I did not have none of them on my FanDuel lineup because I was thinking about Drake London. But seeing how they got shot out by the Panthers and Michael Penix struggled, those 2 interceptions, I don't know about the Falcons. It's hard to get a read on them. You think they're good, and then they have a loss like this to where you don't know if even they're in a good team. Because the Panthers, they should have beat. Well, on paper. And the Texans lost to the Jaguars. I did pick this game right. And it's something about the Texans. I don't know what it is. It's like they lost their magic from 2 years ago. Because if you remember CJ Stroud rookie year, it looked like they were on ascension, but for whatever reason, they can't put it together. And ETN, the Jacksonville running back, he was the main reason they won because for whatever reason, even though Trevor Lawrence's numbers, 222 yards, were decent, but for whatever reason, him and Brian Thomas Jr. cannot get on track. Brian Thomas Jr. had some more drops this past game. If he continues to drop passes like that, I don't know if he could be your number one receiver. But that was a big game for Jacksonville, able to win, and tough loss for Texans to where if they lose next week, if they go 0-4 and then 0-5, I don't see them making the playoffs. And the Broncos and Chargers was a good game. And the Chargers are just good. I think the Chargers have good enough defense and offense to where they're going to be able to compete in the postseason. Saints versus Seahawks. Everyone knew the Seahawks was going to win. Now, The Cowboys and Bears, that was a blowout, but if you weren't paying attention to the game, CeeDee Lamb got hurt early in the first quarter, and then after that, their offense really didn't have nowhere to go. And I know their defense was getting shredded, but maybe if they would have had CeeDee Lamb, they would have been able to keep up score. That was the story of the game. Like literally in that first quarter, you see how they dropped 14 points. From that point on, they were never able to catch up or get a rhythm to the game. Now, the 49ers beat the Cardinals, and remember, Brock Purdy is injured, so Mac Jones, the former Patriots QB, played, and I'm happy for him. He did well. He two passes, 27 of 41, 284 yards and 1 TD. I was happy for Mac Jones. Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey, they did most of the heavy lifting for that team. If they could find a way to score 20 points a game while Brock Purdy is injured, their defense is still solid. And for the Cardinals, they have to figure out what's going on with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray, because the production is still not there. And when I mean production's not there, he was drafted so high, they thought he was going to be kind of like their franchise receiver, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be working. And I think that's why they're not scoring enough points. And James Conner did get hurt, so they're going to have to bring in Trey Benson, but somehow their offense got to start clicking. Now, him and Trey McBride, they're clicking, but for some reason, him and Marvin Harrison Jr., they're not on the same page. Now, the Chiefs beat the Giants, because if the Chiefs would have lost to the Giants, I would have said their season might be a wrap, starting 0-3 and losing to the Giants. It was an okay game, but I didn't expect much from it. And if you watched it, it wasn't that much entertainment, because the Giants D is just horrible. Giants offense is horrible. And they plan to start Dart next week. And Monday night, Lamar let me down again. Even though I like Detroit, I picked Lamar, but the Detroit Lions, even though they had that week 1 embarrassing loss, they look for real. And going to Baltimore's home and doing what they did to them, because I know it says 38-30, but that game was over midway through the third. Now, y'all, it's time for my FanDuel results. I'm going to put them up for y'all. And as you see, I made money and I didn't lose, but I didn't make that much. And the only reason why is because when I show you my lineup, I had Marcus Mariota, Ken Walker, the third, Mason, Ricky Pearsall, and y'all see right there CeeDee Lamb. He was hurt, so it gave me a 0. Puka Nacua, Ty Warren, Christian McCaffrey, and Jaguars defense. If Lamb didn't get hurt, I probably would have cashed and at least made at least $1,200, $1,300. But I still made some money. So at the end of the day, I still take it as a win. And y'all, I just want to say I appreciate all the support. You can expect my plays for this next week FanDuel dropping early Saturday morning or mid-afternoon. And that's it for this video. And since I missed my drop video yesterday, I will be dropping 2 today. So I will see y'all in a little bit.